Hello, Liberty Spenders. We are really pleased to provide you something unique and different for our next few episodes. Every one of them that you're about to see were recorded live from the U.S. Christian Chamber of Commerce SWC 2026 conference in Orlando, Florida. Now, they're a different format than we're used to doing. Instead of our long-form episodes that are often 45 minutes, we really only had about 10 to 15 minutes for each business owner or ministry person that we interviewed. But it was some absolutely amazing people. I think you're going to absolutely love these episodes. We're going to be condensing several of them into one episode. By the way, I really want to encourage you guys, if you've not ever investigated the U.S. Christian Chamber of Commerce, to absolutely do it. Check them out at www.uschristianchamber.com. It's a great organization that you all should consider supporting and joining. In addition to having a U.S. chapter, they have local Christian chambers of commerce in a host of places all over the country that you should consider joining. Stay tuned. Listen to some really cool stories. I'm sure you'll love them. Hey, Liberty Spenders, we're coming at you again from the SWC conference here in Orlando, Florida, part of the U.S. Christian Chamber of Commerce ecosystem. I'm excited to be here with Ben Fleet. He works in corporate relations with Crossroads Prison Ministries. Welcome to the show.
Man, thanks for having me. I really appreciate the opportunity to be with you guys.
Yeah. So tell people who aren't familiar about Crossroads Prison Ministries.
Yeah. So Crossroads is a correspondence-based prison ministry program. We're across the United States in 40 different states, and we're in 11 other countries around the world. So kind of what makes Crossroads unique, I know there's a lot of amazing prison ministries, but I'd say what makes Crossroads unique is that correspondence-based aspect. So the way we kind of work is we recruit volunteers to write letters as our students are going through different Bible lessons in the facilities. They kind of walk alongside of them via the mail and just continue to encourage them during their sentence. Yeah.
And when did the Crossroads begin its work?
I think in 1984, so we've been around for over 40 years.
Wow.
It started in Kent County, Michigan, in Grand Rapids, and just continued to expand. Yeah.
How long have you been with that organization?
I've been here since September.
Oh, wow. So you're a newbie.
I am. It's a new role that they created when I came on board, and it's an exciting opportunity to be with the program.
Yeah. Talk a little bit about your journey. How did you find your way to Crossroads?
Yeah, so my wife actually started volunteering as a mentor about 10 years ago. And I pastored a church plant at the time. We used Crossroads to kind of equip our people to serve the body of Christ that are incarcerated. And my wife was its biggest advocate. And I as pastor, I was like, I don't have a lot of time to pour into this program right now. But then this time last year, we started hearing that they were looking for somebody in a corporate relations, corporate fundraising role. And my wife told me about it. And I was like, well, I do a lot of fundraising as a church planter and a pastor. I was like, well, let's try this in the corporate level and see how it goes. And for some reason, they were like, yes, you'll work.
Yeah. Well, it's such an important ministry. Regularly, it seems like a common call out in scripture that we should work with people in prison.
Yeah.
But it's unique, the approach to it, correspondence.
Yeah.
So what is the unique power of that kind of approach?
Anybody can do it.
Yeah.
So we recruit a lot of volunteers. I think we have about 2,500 volunteers across the U.S. And one of the beauties of it is we have a large number of older people that serve as volunteers that have free time on their hands, but maybe can't get to a facility itself, but they can write a letter.
Yeah.
And that's our whole thing is anybody can write a letter. So I think that's what's probably the beauty to it. But it serves such a profound impact to those who are incarcerated to just be reminded, hey, the body of Christ has not forgotten you. We are walking alongside of you, praying for you regularly as you grow in your faith.
Yeah. And you say they're kind of just so the person who's writing the letter and the incarcerated person, they're both going through some kind of Bible study together. Is that?
Yeah. So Crossroads provides, we have Bible studies that we provide to the students. As the students finish the lesson, they'll write a letter about what they've learned. It gets sent through Crossroads to a mentor. So the mentor sees everything that they're learning and they will write back to them like, hey, this is great. You might want to keep working on this, but ultimately just try to be that source of encouragement. What I also serve as a pastor of a church. And what I love about Crossroads in that capacity is some of our people, it serves as also a discipleship opportunity for them.
Yeah.
Where they're learning stuff that they wouldn't learn otherwise as well.
Yeah. Now, this idea of, corresponding with each other, doing this scriptural study together, I'm sure there's some amazing sort of transformational stories in what has 30, 40 years of existence.
Yeah.
What's some of the unique things that you've seen happen because of the ministry?
Yeah, that's a really good question. And I'm going to be honest, as I've been here for a couple of months, we're always getting letters from our students about, getting out, getting their life straightened up, things like that.
Yeah.
But ultimately, when you kind of zoom out, and as a corporate relations guy, this is the way I talk about it. If you understand the rate of recidivism in the U.S., 62% of everyone released from a facility in the U.S. will be back in a facility within 5 years.
Yeah.
62%.
Yeah.
That's incredibly high. But we are seeing statistics that are showing that faith-based prison ministry reduces the chances of recidivism by 23 to 50%.
Wow.
And I talk about it in a numbers role. Think of the economic impact. Yeah. In the state of Illinois, they say that an act of recidivism costs taxpayers $150,000.
Yeah.
Just one act. And so what we're seeing is out of this, what tends to happen is those students who walk through a faith-based prison ministry, it saves taxpayers about $8,300 per person. So it's just an incredible impact just across the board of seeing change that impacts the community level, the state level, the federal government level across the board.
Yeah, so important. What I love about this SWC conference is this yes and theme.
Yeah.
So for you, what is something you're saying yes to right now? And what's a vision for a future?
Yeah, I think for me, the yes was stepping into this role.
Yeah.
And really just like I pastor full time. I had some margin in my schedule where it was like, I could do something else. What do I want to do? And this opportunity jumped up. And I had never really been in the corporate world. I'd been in the ministry world. And so it was like, do I know what I'm doing? I don't.
Right.
But this is going to be a huge stretching season for me to step into corporate world and begin trying to build relationships. So that was my yes.
Yeah.
And the future, I don't know.
Yeah.
But I am open entirely to it.
We talk a lot in our world about the importance of relationships. Is there someone in your life, that really created an opportunity for transformation? God put them in your life to inspire you to take a new direction or do something differently?
Yeah, absolutely. I'd say it started probably with my student pastor when I was in high school. I was wrestling with the call to ministry. And I was kind of that kid where I wasn't a bad kid and I wasn't a good kid. I was right there in the middle, And when I was wrestling with this and I would talk about, hey, I feel like God may be calling me into ministry, they'd be like, no, I don't think so. Not you. But I told my student pastor, and he's like, oh, I've known that. And I was like, oh. And I think having somebody like that that's in your corner is super impactful. And then from there, I started in student ministry for 4.5 years out of college. And then we took a step into church planting. We knew no one, just kind of taking a step of faith. My wife and I moved to Montreal. And we didn't know anybody there, but there was a guy by the name of Aaron Boswell Aaron was a church planter, and he was like, yeah, come on. Yeah. And we didn't believe a lot of the same stuff at the time. I was still growing in my faith in.
Yep.
And yet he believed in me. And because of him, I am where I'm at today as well.
Yeah. So important. To go back to prison ministry a little bit, what's the kind of you said you've only been there a few months, but that's what your wife had volunteered for a while.
Yeah.
What's something counterintuitive somebody who's not involved in prison ministry that might be interesting for folks to know?
I mean, to me, I think it's just realizing that these people aren't bad.
Right.
I think very often when we think of incarcerated, we think of these hardened criminals that are just terrible people. But these people have stories.
Yep.
They say nearly half of everyone who is incarcerated has a kid at home younger than 18 years old. Mm-hmm. And so these are people with families back home. These people that have made mistakes, absolutely. But they're people that are also have experienced maybe some of the worst circumstances to life. But now God in the facilities is offering them a chance for transformation.
Yeah.
And if God hasn't given up on them, then we can't either.
Yeah. So important.
Yeah.
So if people want to learn more about Crossroads, how do they find information about it?
Yeah, they can go to our website, crossroadsprisonministries.org. They can email me, bfleet@cpministries.org, and love to share more. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, whatever your social media is. We're there, man. And we'd love to get you connected.
Yeah. Well, Liberty Spenders, definitely check it out and get involved. Sounds like a great organization with some really interesting volunteer opportunities. So thank you very much. And until next time. Hello, Liberty Spenders. Once again, we're coming at you live from the SWC 2026 conference in Orlando, Florida, part of the U.S. Christian Chamber of Commerce. I have Candice Rockel with me. She's with the Aurora Network. She is a Kingdom CEO coach for female entrepreneurs. She has her Kingdom CEO Intensive. It's good to have you with us.
Thanks, sir. It's so good to be here.
Yes. Now, I think you were saying your background is as an attorney.
I am an attorney.
So how did you go from being an attorney to a Kingdom CEO coach for female entrepreneurs?
The short answer is because God said.
Yeah.
The longer answer is I've practiced law and owned businesses for over 30 years. And a few years ago, in prayer time, he was calling me out of the law practice, and I was coming out kicking and screaming. And about a year and a half, 2 years ago, he said, give it up or I'm taking it.
Yeah.
You're doing Aurora now. Mm-hmm. So that it was completely God-led. Aurora Network makes no sense in the grand scheme of my career trajectory. But as God tends to do, that tends to be the most fun of ventures.
Yeah, absolutely. So explain Aurora Network for those who don't know as much.
So Aurora, what we noticed in the marketplace is that coaching is not only on the rise, but it's essential. You have to have mentors and teachers and leaders pouring into you in order to make great strides in business, finance, health, personal development. All of those things require you to seek godly counsel and wise wisdom from other people who are maybe better trained than you or whatever the case may be. But what we noticed is that the coaching industry was largely secular and kind of the wild, wild west. So we wanted to infuse Jesus back into the profession and massive amounts of integrity, education, ongoing education of the coaches and the people who are pouring into the women. So we focus solely on women because that's just where we were led to at the time. And the goal was in creating the network was to give creatives and people who are serving God's daughters the ability to do the work without having to do all the businessy stuff.
Right.
So we take care of the tech and the legal and the accounting and the operations and we take care of all of that. Right. So our coaches can just go serve the women.
Yeah. Wonderful. And I know the coaching industry is such a weird industry. I mean, there are some programs out where you can get certified, right? But you don't have to be licensed to be a coach.
Right.
And, for a while, we were part of Tony Robbins' wonderful organization. Yeah. And I always felt like once I got in there, I met so many coaches.
Right.
And I remember the first time I met a 21-year-old life coach. And I thought, you haven't lived enough life.
Oh, sweet cheeks. You haven't lived enough to.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. And so important. I agree with you. Coaching is so essential, but also finding the right coach.
Right.
is essential. And of course, there's lots of different types of coaches. There are people who are right for somebody else, but not right for you.
Correct.
People who have expertise in your industry, or people who really understand the particular challenge you're dealing with.
Yeah. And, do they have the correct educational background? So not only the fundamentals of being a coach, but the knowledge base to coach on fitness or to coach on finances, or, those things are all super important. So.
Absolutely. I love the yes and theme of the conference. So my question for you is, what are you saying yes to right now? And what are you looking to build in the future?
So I am in a season of trying to say yes less, because my go-to is to say yes all the time. So I committed to the Lord that I would say yes to him after much prayerful consideration and discerning of what his will is and all of those things. So my yes and is, yes, God, I will follow where you lead and I will be obedient. And I won't say yes to anything else that you don't say yes to first.
I love that idea. Is there a decision or relationship that you would say radically changed the trajectory in your life or business?
So my very first big girl job after all of the internships and the practice runs and all of that was with a law firm. And the owner of the law firm was a very strong Christian and brought all of his Christian faith to the firm. And I think that was probably one of the first times that I realized, hey, a law firm can serve the Lord, right?
Yeah.
And, business can serve the Lord, and all the different ways that you are called to show up in the world can serve the Lord.
Right.
So yeah, that was a long time ago, but that was a great influence.
Yeah. It's important to have those people in our life. Somebody who coaches entrepreneurs, is there maybe one or two common mistakes, problems that you've run into all the time?
Yeah, you made reference to the Kingdom CEO Intensive. I created that because I see several challenges. I do a lot of business law, or I did. And the common mistakes in business are, number one, your foundation isn't solid. If you're not building on Jesus first, that's problematic. But you also have to have all the legal stuff in place. You have to have the succession planning in place. You have to have the strategies and the operations and the automations. And most people, I think, enter business because they're really good at the thing that they do. But that business foundation, that structure around that thing that they do is almost as important as the rest of it. You can be a great hairdresser or a great accountant or a great attorney, but unless you have the proper business foundation and succession planning, it's going to go sideways.
Yeah. It's interesting you mentioned succession planning, because I have no succession plan, right, in the sense that I probably think you mean.
Okay.
Why would you put that up there as such an important one?
So I put it important because I have 4 children, and I don't want everything that I've built to die with me. I want to make sure that whatever I have is passed to them. I also have a deep appreciation for the fact that life is fleeting. None of us are getting out of this alive. So if something happens to me where I'm incapacitated or have gone home to heaven, I want to know that the things and the people that I have left behind are not in chaos and don't leave a mess, but instead leave a legacy that can be built on instead of cleaned up.
Right.
So, yeah.
Such an important thing. I think a lot of people probably don't think about, from a standpoint of, passing. I've thought about things like wills and who takes care of the kids and all that. But I don't know that Chris and I have some plan for, who would run the business. Right. We have a COO, so that would probably fall to him, but, it's really not outlined.
Yeah.
It's an interesting point about the importance of that.
Yes, please do that.
Yes.
Kurt and Crystal, please do that.
So if people want to learn more, how do they find you?
So we have a website where you can find me and all of my people. It's auroranetwork.life, and our ministry is auroraministries.life. So jump on there, find us on socials. We're Aurora Network everywhere, and we love to connect. I don't know if I mentioned that, but I'm a very connected, relational person.
Yes.
So.
Well, I was going to end there, but you said Aurora Ministry. So what is the ministry connection?
Oh, okay. Well, so all all of the profits from Aurora Network supports Aurora Ministries. And of course, donations support the ministry as well. But the ministry exists to provide that same support to women from really hard places. If you're surviving domestic abuse or surviving rape or surviving trafficking or coming out of a nasty divorce or whatever the case may be, you need that support more than anybody else. We want to make sure you have access to it. So you have access to it through the ministry with all of our free resources. And then the ministry can also pay for you to get coaching or go to a retreat. We just hosted a retreat for mamas of adopted kids from hard places because they need that life-giving filling up too. So we're so passionate that women need that support that we want to get it for them.
That's an excellent extra ministry. So we'll say it again. What are the two websites?
AuroraNetwork.life and AuroraMinistries.life.
Well, it was awesome to have you on, Candice. If you're listening to this show, it's probably because you understand something most people don't. Marketing to Liberty Spenders isn't just about ads or tactics, it's about trust. And in the real world, trust moves through relationships. And that's why private introductions and deal flow are such a core part of what we do.
So FastPass is a private introduction and deal flow network for Christian and conservative leaders who already have influence and want to scale fast. It's not open networking, it's intentional introductions between people who already share alignment. We've seen one client land a $25,000 opportunity from a single introduction. Another told us that FastPass has become his largest source of referrals, not because of volume, but because of fit. And yet another closed her equity round at a key moment just due to the right introduction.
When you book a one-to-one consult with us, we're not handing you a list or making big promises. Instead, we're having a real conversation about what you're building, who you want to meet, and whether FastPass makes sense for this season for you. So no pressure, no hustle, and no awkward pitch from us.
Yeah. If you're ready to grow through relationships instead of forcing everything on your own, head to libertyspenders.com/FastPass and book a one-to-one consult with us.
In worst case, you leave with clarity. Best case, the right introductions change the trajectory of what you're building.
Okay, back to the episode.
Hello, Liberty Spenders. I have Robert and Kaylee Fukui here. I am pumped about this because they're the married entrepreneurs. They're coaches, authors, speakers. They have a great program called Thriving in Tandem for couples who are in business together. And I know nothing about being a couple in business together. And I know I probably have a lot to learn there. So tell us a little bit about Married Entrepreneur and Thriving in Tandem.
Wow. Yeah. So I know we don't have too much time today, but essentially it's a consulting and coaching program that's a hybrid of helping you grow your business, but making sure you can actually prioritize your family, your marriage, your relationships, your kids. And so that the business isn't all consumer, because in our background growing up, that's basically what happened.
How do you help people interrupt that pattern?
You know, we're just coming out of the plenary session right now, and they're talking about mindsets, right? It's really a mindset and a heart issue, because we can help you structure creating boundaries between business and home, and figure out your calendar so you make sure when you're home, you're present with the kids, and that you're not just working and not texting and, you know, answering phone calls even when you're home. That's the solution, right? But the mind just automatically gravitates towards, if I'm not working or thinking about work, I'm falling behind. And so, again, growing up with the hustle culture, we're also acknowledged by our accomplishments, not about our relationships. And so with that, we're always gravitating towards accomplishing things, especially in our business. And so breaking those mindset patterns that say, hey, no, your priority is your family, number one, because if you lose that, you have nothing. And you can still have plenty of time to grow the business. You know, spending time with your family will not hurt the business if you know how to use it.
And I'd say, too, rearrange your calendar, take everything off. Put your priorities down first, your family time. You know, the kids' baseball games. Do you have a recital coming up? Date night? Put all that stuff down first and then put down the work stuff. Because a lot of times we do it the opposite direction. We put all the work stuff first, and then we have no time left for the things that we really want to do, and like our family, spend time with them.
Is there if you're a married entrepreneur and you're thinking, boy, this really resonates with me, what's one thing that they should be doing? What's one habit they should be developing right away?
Well, the first thing is pray daily together. This is Liberty Spenders or people of faith. And the thing that can bulletproof your marriage and energize you for business is to pray daily together. And only 8% of Christian couples pray daily together. And that includes pastors, pastor couples. The statistics isn't much better for people in ministry, couples in ministry. And yet the statistics show, the Family Council did do some research on this and showed the divorce rate for couples that actively pray daily together, not just at mealtime, but we're talking like when we, first thing in the morning, is we have our moment to pray together. We speak blessings over each other. We pray over we thank God for, express gratitude for things, and then also prayer requests, those kind of things. But we pray daily together actively. And the statistic is the divorce rate is only 1 in over 1,100. So it's a fraction of 1% for couples that pray daily together. And yet the simplest solution, yet we don't do it.
Right. Well, because it seems so simple, right?
But think about it. I know there's an audience right now is the moment we've said this to other couples, they have all these excuses why they can't.
Right.
Time, schedules, we're on different schedules. And I'm like, this is the simplest thing you can do. If you can't even do that, how can you really handle the issues that come with marriage and running a business? If you can't even pray daily together. But when you think about it, why that's worse is, number one, you bring God into the center of the marriage, where he should be. And we are prioritizing, when we're praying blessings of each other, we are connecting at a high level. It's not just talking about, picking up the kids or the to-do list of things in business, but we're actively connecting at the heart level, and that creates the bond that you need for any marriage, right?
Because it's pretty hard to be arguing with your spouse or upset when you're praying with them.
Yes.
And to all the men out there, there's nothing like having your husband speak a blessing over you. And like Robert was saying, people say, oh, we don't have time. I'm like, okay, can you wake up 5 minutes earlier? Or carve out some time during the day? But just for each other to pray, because there's nothing like that.
Yeah.
Starting your day up.
So we challenge the couples out there is do it for 21 days straight. And tell them it doesn't help your marriage.
Yeah. So people who work with you, what does that process look like? How do you help them? What's the sort of tactical exercise?
Well, we started doing this new thing we start with the weekend retreat. Because we hear it too many times, we're too busy to get started. We want to do this, but it's too busy to start. So now we just fly out to them, or we meet at neutral location. It's kind of a retreat setting for 2 days. We do 2 half-day sessions. And the first things we work on is understanding themselves and each other, that we're created uniquely different. And those differences are often creating conflict, but it's like learning how to work with each other's differences and know that there's strengths. And especially as a couple, and especially when you're working in business together, you want the differences, right? You don't want to hire people that are just like you. Otherwise, you're just talking in an echo chamber. You want those differences and to bring those different perspectives, and that becomes a strength for the organization, because now you can make better decisions because you have different input. So that's where we start. Is that, and creating some boundaries, and we talk, as Kelly's talking about, how to calendar your day, so you prioritize your marriage first, your faith, and then your marriage first, and then how do you use your time effectively in your business and not just doing everything, because a lot of small business owners are wearing multiple hats. So how do you use your time better? How do you work smarter, not harder, basically, right?
Yeah.
So those are 2 areas we work on: is how do we work better together as a team? How do we work better in the time we have in the business?
Yeah. So this conference theme is yes and. So I've been asking every guest, what is something the 2 of you are saying yes to right now in your life, and what are you building for the future?
Well, we are in the process of moving from California to Lake Norman. And that's a big move for us. We live in California. I have all my life, and it's God's country. So that's a big yes and a leap of faith for us.
Yeah, I mean, yes, that's the thing that's on our mind right now. We really love the lake, living on the water, but also we really see it as a place to start doing retreats where clients come to us.
Yeah.
Right? We love it because it's so peaceful. And we're like, this is what our clients need.
Yeah.
Because they're so busy on the day-to-day, they don't have time to stop and enjoy the moment. I would say, hey, let's create something where they can come out to us and start. And so that's the thing we're really looking forward to as well.
Yeah. It's a big yes right there. Yeah. That is quite literally.
A big uncomfortable yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we're still doing it, and we're happy about it.
It's very exciting. So for people who want to learn more about what you're doing, where can they find you online?
just go to marriedentrepreneur.co/Liberty Spenders.
Great.
So we created a specific landing page just for your audience. And in there, there's a free assessment for marriage and business. And you can see what are the areas in your marriage and business that you're doing well in and what can you use a little bit of left.
Yeah.
And then access to our book, Tandem, for Married Entrepreneur's Guide to Work-Life Balance.
Wonderful. Well, thank you guys so much for being on. And thank you all for listening. It's always means a lot to us that you give us your time of day to listen to our podcast. Hello, Liberty Spenders. Once again, coming at you live for the SWC 2026 conference for the U.S. Christian Chamber of Commerce. We're based in Orlando today, and I'm excited to have Rami Goldberg with me. He is with Israel 365, which is a ministry that connects Jews and Christians to support the land of Israel. He's also a podcaster, and I just learned, based in Israel, not far from the Valley of Elah, where David fought Goliath.
Yes, that is correct. It's
Yes.
about a 5-minute drive from my house, and I've taken many Christian groups there, so it's really just an unbelievable to see the Bible come to life in that location.
Oh, yeah. Talk a little bit about Israel 365 for people who don't know anything about it. How does your ministry work?
Yeah, so what we do, our goal is really to connect the Orthodox Jewish community, the Jewish community, and the Christian community, and to reach across the aisle, to understand that there's going to be differences between us. We're going to find areas that we're going to fight. We're not going to agree on, but there's so many areas of connectivity. There's so many areas that we can complement each other and work together, and that's really something that we need to do. I know that so much of talk about faith spending on this podcast, and what you guys are all about is. The leftists and the jihadists have managed to get together. I think that us who share family values, values of country, values of God, there's just so much that we can be doing, and we should be doing more together. And so that's a lot of our mission. And we do this through publishing, we do this through Shabbat dinners, we do this through trips to Israel. We bring young Christian leaders to Israel and to develop really the next generation of Christian Zionists and really connect them to the land. So it's really just opportunities of one way or another to really connect between our communities.
Yeah, there's so many blessings of social media that in our world, but one of the sort of negatives of it is people can say anything. They can misinform folks, and it's not. So there's a downside, I guess, to the fact that you can access anything, right? And I think there's a lot of misinformation today about what's going on overseas, about who influences who. In our world. So it's so important to be doing that. And there's nothing more important than just seeing with your own eyes.
Yeah, absolutely. And we have 2 daily newsletters. And one of them is called our Daily Inspiration. And so that has like a Bible verse, and it really, will connect people like a daily devotional. And then we have another email, which is called our Daily News, and we put out news from Israel, where a person can get faith-based news and really to understand what's actually happening on the ground and looking at it from a faith perspective. But yeah, there's always the battle that's happening in Middle East. Everyone has to really understand that this is actually a spiritual battle. Because if it's a physical battle, there are many more important or other battles that are happening in different places throughout the world. But Israel is really the center of the world. It is, God's eyes are on the nation from the beginning of the year to the end of the year. And because of that, everything is magnified 1,000-fold compared to, other things that are happening in other parts of the world. So
absolutely. Now, you said Shabbat dinners. So talk about that. Do you invite people over to participate, or you do those here? Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, so we actually have a hub right now in Dallas, and we're building another one in Nashville. And whenever we can have the opportunities, we have different people who are going to come in to run Shabbat dinners. This coming Friday, I'm going to be running a Shabbat dinner at my friend's house here, and we'll get together and we will break bread together. And so we do that wherever the opportunity. Anyone who comes on our tours, they for sure do that, and we have that. It's really one of the highlights. So there's been such a groundswell, particularly after Charlie Kirk's murder, of Shabbat, because people, I think there's been this awakening where
people have been looking at the 10 Commandments for a long time, and they kind of skip over that honor the Shabbat. And it's become this kind of groundswell that people are like, you know what, let's take a little bit of time and let's honor the Shabbat. So yeah, in any way that we can do it. So we'll do some programs here in America, and certainly in Israel when anyone comes.
I think that's a great thing you're doing. And then you mentioned you take people and tour them through the Holy Land. What does that look like for?
So we have a number of different tours. We kind of have what we call our church lady tours. Meaning that would just be like, our general. If someone wants to come and they want to see the Holy Land, see the holy sites, connect with the people, but it's not as kind of I'm going to say, action oriented in terms of like what you're going to do when you get back. We then run young Christian leader tours where we bring twice a year. It's May and November, where we bring young Christians to come and not only to meet the people on the land, but a lot of times political leaders and also we spend the Shabbat in Judea, and it's really, really connecting on a very, very deep level with Bible studies and really connecting as far as to become activists. So those are kind of our main two. And we also did this past summer an influencer tour, which was that we brought kind of political influencers, MAGA/conservative influencers to come, and so that was like a really exciting, interesting tour. So do all sorts of different tours, different strokes for different folks.
Yeah, it's fascinating. So one of the themes of this conference is yes and. So I've been asking every guest, what are you saying yes to right now, or maybe what's your organization saying yes to, and what are you building for the future?
Yeah, we're saying yes and to the redemption. Something that a lot of times we think of. We're here in obviously Disney capital, and so we think of the redemption happening in a kind of a Disney story that things are going to be larger than life, as opposed to there being like a slow step-by-step process. I mean, we take a look the ingathering of the exiles. Like that's happening one person at a time. These are our prophecies that are unfolding. A number of years ago, I ran in the Jerusalem Marathon, and I was running. There was a couple of younger high school boys that were there, and I turned to them. I said, "Just when we run through this marathon, just realize that we are fulfilling the biblical prophecies of Zechariah that the boys and girls are going to be playing in the streets of Jerusalem." And the old people are going to be on their canes. That is my kids, and that's my father.
Yeah.
Like my father's sitting there cheering people on. So the biblical prophecies are coming true. And so I think we want to say, kind of yes, and let's keep our eyes open to what is actually happening in this world, because there's titanic shifts that are happening, and we have to just be aware of these things in our worth.
Absolutely. Is there someone in your life that you met at a key time that really made a big difference in the way you live your life?
I keep a journal. So I was going through my journal, and I was like, what are like decision points in my life that, okay, if I could redo this, where would I end up? And I ended up, and I think there's a lot of those decisions I can look back to. When my hockey coach once upon a time, really beat me on the head or something, and that really caused my whole life to change in a different direction. Or I could look at the moment that my wife and I decided to make Aliyah, to move to the land of Israel, which was be 20 years this summer, and I can't imagine my kids raising or my son just drafted in the Army. You're dropping him off at that, at the base. It's like that moment of like, wow, thinking about my grandfather. One grandfather fought in the Polish Army, one who fought in the American Army during World War II, and my son who was joining the Israeli military to defend the Jewish people in the land of Israel. So I think there's too many. I think that's, and I think all too often we don't realize that every moment is that moment of, who knows, that this is the beginning of it. If I have 30 more seconds, I'll share one idea. There's a phrase called, and it was in the middle of the night. Vayhi b'chatzi halayla is the Hebrew, and that phrase appears twice in the Bible. One time it appears in Exodus. The other time it appears in the book of Ruth. So at the Exodus, it appears when on the night of the death of the firstborns, and by Ruth, it appears when she goes ahead and uncovers his feet. And the question becomes, what is the connection between those two?
Yeah.
Right. Those two moments. So Exodus is the redemption. Sometimes the redemption of the big and the lightning and thunderbolts. And then sometimes you have the redemption that is just the way that two people speak to each other quietly in the middle of the night. And that is Ruth and Boaz. Had Boaz turned around and said, "Oh, you know, Ruth, you're a prostitute, you're a Moabite, you're enemy nation. What are you doing here?" Had he said all those things, what would have been? And what happens from that union? Ultimately, we get King David, right, and Messiah coming from King David, and we have the redemption. So sometimes the redemption we think, again, I said before about Disney, it's going to be this amazing,
right.
And it's just going to be sometimes the way that you speak to your wife, who, you know, quietly in the middle of the night.
Yes.
So I think every single moment has that opportunity to be these life-changing moments.
Yeah, I love that. It's a great way to end, but I want you to have a chance for folks who want to learn more about what you guys do. Where do they find you?
So you can find us at Israel365.com, and people can reach out to me directly. It's Rami, Rami, at Israel365.com. Not Israel, is Israel. So
Yes.
just spell it correctly.
Yes.
But you could find me there. They could reach out, and please do. This is really what we're always looking for is connection, and we're looking for people to, you know, that want to go on this journey together in love and support, and to do great things together.
Yes. Well, it's been wonderful to have you on. Thank you for the time, and thank you folks for taking the time to listen to us. It's it makes me feel so great when you take even 15, 20 minutes to listen to one of our episodes. So thank you very much. And until next time,